Welcome everybody to this week's episode of Strong Perspective Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Keith Armstrong, along with
Uncle Spoke, aka Karate Man, out this motherfucker.
cussing early, aren't we? Huh?
It's gonna be one of them
Okay,
days. Yeah, why not? Fuck
yeah,
it.
and also with our host just popped in.
Spook.
Introduce yourself, Damon. This
Just one of them days
is why I love live, man.
when a
Can
nigga
you hear us,
shit don't
Damon?
go right.
Well,
Yeah, it's gonna be a hell of a
this
show.
is this is Strong Perspective Podcast. Let me do some housekeeping as we trying to work out the kinks. That's why I love the live, man, because you're always working out kinks and everything.
Yeah,
But we are a very conversational show. We talk about everything and anything. You know what I mean? We speak our mind, and any guest that comes on, men or women, we make sure that they get their points across. Just, I mean, it's good to communicate. It's good to feel how you feel. We're in the third week of Black History Month. Excuse me. Um, that's always meant something to me. I mean, look, I'm old enough to have the what is it, Negro American Negro Week. That's what, when I was in elementary, that's what we used to celebrate. You
mm-hmm.
know what I mean?
We was color folks.
Yeah. So, but in '86, the House and everybody they made it into Black History Month. So it's cool. You know. Uh, how's your day today, brother?
My day, man, it wasn't a typical Friday, man, because I was off, but I spent the better part of the day, man, at a gas station, man. I went to get my emissions checked yesterday, and I had some issues, and I had to take it back this morning. So I was there, shitting and sweating over that all day,
Hmm.
and I still haven't got it resolved. But uh, I found the energy and the wherewithal to join you here tonight, brother. So I'm good.
Look, we appreciate you being here, man. Always, as always, always loved it, man. You know what I'm saying?
It's a pleasure to be here,
Yeah, it's a funny thing, man. I saw some. I'm paraphrasing when I say this, but it's either a movie or I saw somewhere where they said that Martin Luther King, when he was assassinated, he went down in history as a martyr, right? And he said, well, Jackson was unfortunate enough to live, and he became human. You know what I'm saying? And I remember I was in college, 1984, the first time he ran for the presidency, right?
bro.
I remember that I was so proud. He came on campus, University of Pittsburgh campus, going through the Pennsylvania primaries and all that. And, is it Operation Push? I don't want to butcher the name, but it's Push, right?
Hmm.
He had all the see because they started getting serious about him because he had a Secret Service detail. And 1984, I felt proud, man. I felt proud to see that man standing up there running for the presidency. What's up, Damon? You good?
Oh yeah, yeah. I shoot.
All right,
That
introduce
sound.
yourself, sir. Introduce yourself so we can complete the set.
Anybody know me? Fluke Dog, Damon
Fluke dog.
Armstrong.
Mhm. How
What
was
you
your
talking
day
about,
today,
Jesse
sir?
Jackson?
Yeah.
Hmm.
How was your day today
Um,
before we get back to that?
it was all right, man. Relaxing day. Just chilled out, man, for the most part. I quite enjoyed it.
always
How
good
about
to
y'all?
enjoy relaxation, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you gotta think about it. And this is my own phrasing. We are we are the children and our parents and our grandparents and our great grandparents and so on. We are children of survival. We work out of survival mode. You know what I'm saying? Where, like I said, just me, my personal opinion, where we grind it out, we make a way for ourselves, and we don't look up until it's time to retire. You know what I'm saying?
Put your shoulder
Where
on.
in other communities they have a couple bits of respite where they can look up and see where they came from. But we grind it, we going, we working, we doing it, work, grind. Loving our families, but it's a grind. It's just a grinded out thing, man. You know what I'm saying? And I was telling Jaquari, Damon, 1984, Jesse Jackson came on campus, University of Pittsburgh, when during the Pennsylvania primary, and
Okay.
really and truly, I felt chills, man, because a lot of stuff didn't like. I was never a fan of stuff like, yo, you know what I mean? Like, oh, he's a celebrity. He's this. I was never like that. I acknowledge things and people and folks like that, right? But not like in awe. I was standing there, met my girlfriend and a group of friends, standing in the back. I'm a basketball player, big man on campus, chilling, whatever, right? But got put in the notion, felt like I was reliving the civil rights in a lot of ways. You dig what I'm saying? And it was the beginning of a lot of important moments in my life in which I feel blessed to have had. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I believe it was the same year, man. He came to Ipsy High, and
Okay.
it was during football season, and they had us like they had the bleachers and everything. They had spectators in the bleachers, but they had us in the middle of the floor in the in the gym on the court,
Hmm.
and that. Funnily enough, that was the first time I ever had a background check ran on. They said they ran background checks on all of us.
No, I believe that. I believe that. You know, it's no, just a bit. I feel blessed to live moments, man. You feel what I'm saying? I think that might have been your freshman year, Damon, in college, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember getting in an argument with my professor. Oh, he's never gonna win anything. You want to waste your vote. And I'm like,
That
okay.
ain't the point. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? That's not the point.
You ever heard of a symbolic vote, man?
Yeah.
You know?
Look,
Ever heard of your right as an American citizen to use your vote as you see fit? I don't
you
care.
know the thing about it with most
I
people.
don't care if I set my ballot on fire. It's mine to do what as I please.
Most people don't understand. He made the ground. He made it possible for people to take in President Obama running for president. You know what I'm saying? Meaning the two times he ran in '84 and he ran in '88. People, the visuals are there. The optics was there. You know what I mean? You hear it in your head. You know what I mean? Like, oh, another black man, when it was time for Obama to run, another black man is running for presidency. You know what I'm saying? And then they looking for, just like in the movie, they looking for the black man to save us all, you know, because the country was in shambles, man.
Yeah.
And guess what? They hopped on it like, hey, I don't trust you, coon,
Yeah.
but I'm giving you my vote.
So you
No, no,
say that,
no
yeah.
disrespect, President Obama, but you know,
I don't trust, but I don't trust you, but you say there's relief here somewhere.
yeah,
All
you
right,
look
well,
calm. You
yeah.
look calm. Your demeanor. You look like you can do it.
Everybody was searching for that hope he was talking about.
Yes, indeed. And he did. He turned it around. But you know, the spin doctors. You know, it's that was the beginning of what we see now.
Because
You know what I'm saying?
even Jesse said he's gonna castrate the man. I mean, so
Oh my God. See that hot mic, man.
yeah,
I was so disappointed, bro.
really,
I was, yeah, I was disappointed. Yeah, because I don't know Jesse Jackson, but I just
yeah,
described to you. I just described to you my experience.
yeah. But let me say this. I think Jesse recognized that he recognized the regime changed. It's changed as far as African Americans go. I mean, because he was basically he was the last of the civil rights political big shots. Jesse Jackson,
Yeah,
he was the last.
yeah.
Obama was a new breed. He talked he
So
you know he had the same message, but he talked about using different avenues to achieve different points or whatever.
you
And
know,
for the most part, he was highly successful. Even
yeah,
if you're a critic of Obama, you can't say that he wasn't successful because he had two terms.
yeah. Hey, you know what?
Uh,
Look, everybody knows. I've said this over the years in our podcast. My only problem was I told you, and I'm not going to belabor this thing. I never saw him in a speech. I seen him be positive about uh, the LGBTQ community, the Muslim community, in speeches, major speeches, and the Spanish. You know what I'm saying? But I never saw him speak, and that's all I really wanted. I never heard him speak about us. We looked at him as a black man and achieved something. Now, you might think it might be petty. Yeah, I don't care. But I'm just speaking from my own point of view. Like, yo, I searched every time he had a speech. I searched just to have some kind of kinship. Now, the only kinship came was his love for his wife. You know what I'm saying?
And if I could say so, man, I mean his approach was it was as political as it could possibly be. Because
Yeah,
if he had
that was my
said
problem.
if he had came out and said, well, these things are specifically for African Americans, do you don't think black people would have died?
I no, I
Listen.
don't think it have got that deep.
But
If I'm gonna
but
be
but
honest,
But we were dying anyway at the hands of the of some groups or whatever during both of his both of his shits.
yeah,
They
you
are.
know what? Honestly, this honestly, I was not looking for. Hey man, you gonna change it for black people? Oh, because that's being unrealistic. You know what I'm saying? My point is the relatability. You know what I mean? For me to look and I guess it was enough for him to play basketball. They showed him playing basketball. I said, okay, oh, he's a real brother. You know what I'm saying? He's a real brother. Look, he got a Secret Service buffer around him where can't nobody get close to him. Can't nobody block that shot. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
no, I mean, but did y'all? But did people expect the first black president to be like John Henry or something or Stagger Lee? Is that what y'all wanted?
Oh, see, that's the whole point, though.
I had
It really.
I had
Go ahead.
I had lofty ideas. I wanted him to be like Magic Johnson, stand in front of the camera and say, "Man, I love my people, man." You know, that did it for me.
You know what, Damon? An expression of love would have been enough for me because I'm a realist. I understand. You know what I'm saying? And I never, you hit it right on the head. I never felt that there was an expression of love for black men.
Yep.
I mean, that was it. You know,
Yeah, I'll give you that.
because and that's just how it is, man. You know, even though Trump right now is extreme, but guess what? He shows a lot of love to all these fucking idiots, man. That's why they love him.
He look. He ain't still look. He ain't showing no love to ICE. You heard about that? You heard about the money?
No,
What
what
happened?
happened?
Them some bitches ain't that $50,000 bonus.
Uh-huh.
Them some bitches are not getting it. They not even getting paid base pay. They not even getting a regular check. Okay, the $50,000 bonus. Everybody thought it was gonna come in a lump sum. Mm-mm.
Hmm.
They get it throughout. You know the base pay checks. Roll over, roll over into the base pay check. So
Yeah.
that shit's getting taxed. It's getting
You
taxed like
know
a
what?
motherfucker.
You know
Isn't
what
that
that
typical,
approach
man?
is?
But the,
That,
but
think
they not
about
even
it.
getting regular checks though. They not getting nothing.
That's that armed forces rhetoric. How they be hooking these kids in high school. Like,
Mm.
man, we gonna get you a college degree. We gonna get you here. You gonna always have money. We gonna feed your ass. But look. Whatever they say is free ain't free, man. You know what I mean?
Man,
And the stipulations are, man, if you quit or get fired, or if the regime changes, the political regime changes, and ICE is repurposed or whatever, you don't get the 50,000.
Of course. I mean,
So you're not getting the 50,000, in the first place because they roll it into your base paycheck and you get the shit taxed out of you. That's number one, and number two, anything can fucking happen if the sky starts to fall, the sky starts to fall or whatever. You out the money. So they were never going to get that money.
I mean,
man,
it was the hook. They hooked
that's
them. Is what they did.
man, that is some shiesty shit, bro.
They
You know
hooked
what I'm
them.
saying? And I'm not a big fan of ICE.
Hmm.
Hey, sister girl, I'm not a fan of ICE, man.
Mm.
But man, this dude, I mean, that's how you do business, man.
Yeah.
Well, you got to they shitting in the beds that they made. They are shitting in the beds that they made. I mean, it's as simple as that. I mean, I feel bad.
I,
I feel bad for them from a humanistic point of view because they got families or whatever who more than likely don't agree with what the fuck they're doing. But
Yeah.
public service and military service in this country historically have always been a path to citizenship. And I say that because had they like the people who they're hunting or whatever had they hired them, probably wouldn't be none of these issues.
I mean, you gotta think about it. That's a great point because that's what they did with the military. That's why it was a lot of Spanish folks in the military. A
That's what
lot
the
of
whole that's what the movie The Gangs of New York was about. They was pulling they was put like as the ships docked at Ellis Island, they was pulling the Irish off the ships and enlisting them in the army
yeah, yeah.
as a path to citizenship.
would it be safe to say some of them ICE officers would do it without getting paid because they want to be bullies?
Well,
I
yeah,
mean, but you
absolutely.
can say that about law enforcement. Period. You can say that about anybody in authority. Yeah, it's a good point, Damon. But I think another thing they jumped on it because it was no jobs. ICE created job opportunities for people who were just floundering because, he many jobs that was lost during the pandemic, which was under his reign. You know what I'm saying? People were still out there, getting, little part-time jobs or whatever they were doing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's a lot to be said about what be going on around here, man. You know what I'm saying? The good and the
Man,
bad of it.
I'm sitting up there thinking, I'm like, man, this is wild, man. This is wild. All that they ain't even paying these people.
No, they
No,
actually
they ain't
paying
doing
them,
what
but
they promised.
yeah, they made it sound like, oh, you get a 50. No, what you're doing is we're
Jesus.
gonna pay you overtime. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying?
Have y'all seen the commercials for ICE?
Oh my. Um. What's the lady's name? What is her capacity? I forget her name. Is
Bondi?
she the attorney general? You know what I'm
Pam,
talking about?
Pam Bondi?
Bondi's yeah,
Yeah,
she's the
Bondi,
attorney general.
right? Listen, because I don't really look at a lot of like television, like regular television. I'm doing the social media thing. But on YouTube, that commercial about, hey, listen, this is what your view, paraphrasing, this is your view if you're a legal alien. They lead them to the planes and all that. And then she hit them with the hook. Now, if you turn yourself in voluntarily, we're going to put you in a program so you can be redirected back into the country. I said, bullshit. Yeah, well, I don't know. Hey, I want to. I was dedicated to really the next 4 weeks speak on the Black History moment, right? So you know how you do it. February 20th. What was historical about February 20th? And found out that which was crazy. Arthur Ashe. Arthur Ashe in '92 was when he told him he let everybody know that he had AIDS because he had open heart surgery. Remember that? He had open heart surgery and he
Hmm.
contracted it, man. And with Arthur Ashe, man, even though he had the afro and all that, he played tennis. I was still proud, but I didn't put him in the cool set like Dr. J or anybody like that. But
Why though? Why though, bruh? Why?
I know that. Listen, let me explain.
I want to know that too.
No, no, no. You hear me? You don't know what I'm talking about. I didn't put him in that cool like this brother. Like my man, like exciting cool. But when it comes to human rights, black rights, he was the he was the freaking man. He was
Yep.
the guy. You know what I'm saying? And you know what it was? I didn't see his sport as being thrilling. That's what it is.
Man, have you ever played tennis,
You ever
man?
played tennis, bruh?
No, listen, I didn't see his sport as being too easy. I said thrilling to sit there and watch it. Now the playing is a
Man,
different thing
Look,
because you're running constantly.
my
You know what
wife,
I'm saying?
my wife introduced me to tennis, man, and I fuck with it heavy, man. I really do
Uh huh.
fuck with it heavy, man. And when I finally did read about Arthur Ashe, I mean, for him to have a stadium named after him in the sport of tennis, I mean,
Yeah.
tennis is a bitch, boy. Tennis it's a real bitch. It's not just power and speed, man. It's accuracy. I mean,
Yeah. It is.
man,
check it out, man.
have you ever watched him play on clay?
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you trying to make them stop hit the ball, you keep on sliding. Man, you know how difficult that is,
like
man.
I said, yeah, like I said,
Look,
I watched them, but I didn't
at
get
the
the
top,
same thrill like I was watching Dr. J or all them guys running up. I'm doing a point of reference, watching them running up and down the court. But I watched Arthur Ashe when he was on the court. You know what I mean? Him and Althea Gibson, they
Mhm.
were, the two, I don't know if they were the first, but those were the most notable, like when we was kids, like these was the horses, like the people, like could not be beat people. You know what I'm saying? So
man, when I was in college, this was when I was like in peak health. I was in shape, and I took a class, right? And I'm like, man, I'm going to destroy these classmates of mine because I'm a basketball player. I'm in shape. Man, they wore my ass out.
no, because you what you say, y'all both said this. You gotta have coordination. You gotta have hand and eye coordination, man. You gotta have strength. You have to have power. Everything, man, and especially flexibility, man. In your hips. Come on, bro.
If
I
you look,
played. I played racket. I got introduced to racquetball, man, when I was like a junior in college, right? I was done. Look, I couldn't imagine tennis because the racquetball. I was done. I was in the shower, taking a shower, and I'm sitting up there like, my shoulder. Oh my god. But yeah,
Well, I was like, both my hand on rack 'em in my hand, him on my other knee, and they kept beaming. I was like, I don't like this shit, man.
yeah,
Man, I found brand new. A lot of respect, man. And plus, I like how Arthur Ashe how he move, man. You know,
yeah,
uh,
yeah.
I like
He
how he
was
move.
cool, calm, strong, had
Yeah,
exhibited a lot of strength. Yes,
it,
sir.
yeah.
dare I say, just like Barack Obama. Barack Obama and Arthur Ashe is pretty much the same guy.
No,
Yeah.
I don't agree. I don't agree.
Okay.
I understand what you're saying. I just don't put.
Arthur Ashe is
I
what
mean,
made
no, I
Barack.
see your
Ar-
point. I see your
Arthur
point.
Ashe.
I
Arthur
see your
Ashe is
point.
what is one of the people who made Barack Obama relevant. He is, as far as temperament, as far as image, as far as delivery, as far as presence.
Got you.
I see. I'm starting to warm towards Barack, man. I'm starting to warm towards him. He give a hell of a speech. He's an orator, man, for sure. But like I said, man, sometimes, man, it's just acknowledgement that really makes a difference, bro. You
Okay.
know, and I damn sure miss him now. I mean, it is like a world of difference, bro. From his presidency to what we dealing with right now,
Mm.
it's
Yeah.
just I've never ever seen, let's say, corruption. I mean, just blatant, outright the bullshit they be doing, man. It's crazy to me.
Shit. He make
Mm.
it. He make you miss George W.
That's true. Yeah, I was pissed when that dude was throwing the shoe at George. I was like, ain't that a bitch? So
My
where's it?
man,
Where's the sick and said they should
Yeah.
be kicking his
Fuck is
ass
wrong? The
right now?
fuck is wrong with
my
y'all? Yeah.
man. Hey, look, let me tell you something. Two things came away with that, right? I'm not sure how I felt about the shoe being thrown, but W's reflexes was
Yeah.
phenomenal.
He was an old man too. He was an old.
Yeah, look, and my man's his arm was phenomenal too. You know what I'm saying?
If I'd have been Secret Service, I'd have been stomping his toes and everything.
Oh,
He
that's
said, stuffing his toes.
Yeah, he threw it to both shoes.
and you know that's
I'd
that's
just been in there stepping on his feet.
when you think about it, man. Symbolically, man.
Ah,
When you think
shit.
about it symbolically, man, that's a biblical rebuke, man. You know, like
Throw your shoes.
yeah, yeah. I mean, one of the few times I paid attention in church. In church, he's talking about the offering, right? And I just so happened to see it like in my early days on like YouTube and stuff. So, dude, he walked into a church and he was homeless and didn't have anything. So they passed the collection plate and he put a shoe in it. And everybody was bad, disrespectful and all this and all that. And the preacher was like, "Hold on, wait a second. This is a biblical thing. When a man comes in church and this is all he has to give. If you give your shoes, that's basically your life.
That's real.
It's like you if you walking, you giving up your transportation. It's like giving away your horse in the old west.
Hmm.
I mean, yeah, yeah. And look, that's a great way of looking at it, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I say that with the point that you made, you quite like, yeah, this is everything I got, man. You know what I'm saying? This is everything that I have, and I'm going to give it to you.
Y'all think that would have fly? Would have flew if it had been that pastor church who locked the doors and say, "Can nobody leave till we get how much was it?"
I don't know, but that was one of the whinings.
$2,000 or something like that.
I was
That
like,
was
them strong arm tactics there.
that was one of the whinings, wasn't it?
It was. I looking at different things that happened on the 20th of February, and I'm sitting here collecting them. And let's see, this next one, like I said, it's just more or less trying to understand where we are as a people. So if Google is right, February 20th, 1895 is when Frederick Douglass passed away. Any thoughts on that, gentlemen?
No, I never really, you know, did too much research on Frederick Douglass outside of what people talk about. And they always
Well,
emphasize.
he was one of the first. Uh, he's an abolitionist. Abolitionist. Y'all know what I mean. And people listen to him.
I read he was a big dude. He was an athlete,
Yeah.
very athletic dude.
I
And
didn't know that.
they say he was light skinned, but in his
His
pictures it gives me he looked like he's dark skinned man.
yeah, he's biracial,
Okay.
and he's also Dr. Umar's relative too. Can't forget
That's
that.
what his yeah, that's what he said. Oh, speaking of which, he finally got his school completed.
Did he?
Yes, sir.
Congratulations to him.
Yeah. Let's see. In 1927, Sidney Poitier was born, February 20th. 1927.
You
In
know,
1963, Chantal Farkland was born.
you mentioned Sidney Poitier, man. You know, I just watched last night, man. I just watched Uptown Saturday Night.
Hmm.
You know, is considering the way things went with Bill Cosby, man. Him and Sidney Poitier, their chemistry was genius, man. It was
Oh, it
absolutely
was.
genius, absolutely
It
genius, man.
was,
I mean,
man.
it was, and like I didn't the Huxtable show. I watched it because Ma watched it, and that was the only TV. But I didn't really relate to them. But the characters that them two dudes played in Uptown Saturday Night, and what was the other one?
Let's do
Let's
it
do it
again or something.
again.
Let's Do
Let's
It
do it
Again.
again.
They was just
Yeah,
regular dudes, man, regular blue
yeah.
collar dudes, man. And I was like, wow, this and they showed sides that I don't think were really popular with the mainstream. Just regular Joes that stuff happened to, and they just trying to figure their way through it, and
Hell,
this shit
one
was
of them,
getting
they belonged to a damn cult. You remember that?
yeah, that was Let's Do It Again, I believe.
Which one was it when they walked in the office and Richard Pryor jumped from behind the desk?
I forgot he was in one of the movies, man.
Yeah, he jumped from behind the desk. Bill Cosby had his fist balled up like this. I saw that the other day, man. I laughed for about 15 minutes, boy.
It's iconic movies, man. I mean, that's Biggie Smalls and Bootly Farnsworth and Geechee Dan and all of man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Man.
yeah.
Then when he walked in, the lady back, he had on that clown suit. He was reaching down in his pants because his gun fell out.
Yeah.
His gun fell down. He's trying to grab the money. His gun fell all down in his pants.
Oh yeah.
Hey, well, you got to see it, man.
I'm gonna tell you.
You'll appreciate
I'm
it.
gonna tell you, like Sidney Poitier, man. I love watching that man in the movies, bro. To be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? Where um, quiet strength. You know what I'm saying? From the islands and shit. But I'm not saying it like that's a bad thing. But as far as a lot of great actors are classically trained in England, man.
Mm,
Black actors,
okay.
and he was. That's where he was trained at. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, man.
And
Yeah,
and
he
and,
grew up. Go ahead.
no, I was gonna say, and it's like a triple irony. Sidney Poitier was a precursor to Barack Obama, was he not?
I see where you're going with it.
You can make a
Yeah,
connection, man.
yeah, yeah. I see
In
where you're going.
terms of being trailblazers. Absolutely.
In terms of
Or
relatability,
stature, stature.
relatability to the other.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna tell you. Uh, Getting back to this Bill Cosby thing, I had the nerve because I was in college when this was going on, I believe, or I forget where I was. I was like, I said the same thing. Man, I can't relate to them. They life and all that. And this older guy looked at me and said, "Why?" Didn't even know from a can of paint. He was like ear hustling. He said, "Why? Why can't you relate to them?" So you telling me that there ain't no black doctors, there ain't no black lawyers? Is that what you telling me, son? Right? I looked at him. He said, "I want to hear it." I said, What don't you relate about that? Maybe because they don't put it on television. But that's real life that you looking at, man. I said, well, real life is what you mean, like a doctor and a lawyer in the same house? No. People achieving, our people achieving, accomplishing things. And I sit up there and I'm 6'9" and I shrunk. Like, you right, you old bastard. You right. But I'm glad this man checked me because I was feeding into the propaganda, man. You feel what I'm saying? Feeding into the propaganda where they were, whoever it is, maybe it's conspiracy theory or maybe it's not, but whoever it was trying to tell us that we only can break our back and back breaking work. We don't have the intellectual brains. We don't have the capacity to do these things, even though we see them every day. Like if you're on college campuses, you see that example every day. You know what I'm saying? If you work downtown somewhere, like when we was youngins, you work downtown somewhere, we saw that. But it was our fault when we try to make ourselves not relate to them. Like they are special, but they're not a anomaly. They always make us seem like it's an anomaly more than hard work and just being gifted. Because we're all gifted in some kind of way. What's up, Lawrence?
Cuz.
You know,
How you
I,
doing, brother? What if you just simply didn't, it just didn't move you? What if that was just, the simple case? It just didn't move. Because for me, it didn't. I watched it with my woman.
I could accept that,
I
man.
mean,
yeah, yeah. I understood where he was going with it, though. So that's another thing that I'm grateful for. Whether or not it was my cup of tea or not, I understood what he was shooting for without him having to explain it. See, that's good
mm,
upbringing right there, brother. You know what I'm saying?
I
You know,
like the fact that they were regal, you know what I'm saying? And they had that look about them, you know. It
Yeah.
reminded me of people that I was related to, and people I knew.
I didn't appreciate it, man. Because at the time, I had deep thoughts about it, but at the time, I imagined myself not being able to hang out with Theo because Bill wouldn't fuck with me because of where I came from.
No, you
I
wouldn't be
thought I
able
thought
to
that.
hang out with. You wouldn't have been able to hang out with Theo because Theo was in the helmet class with his dyslexia. He was dyslexic.
Shit, I mean,
So
shit. I
Theo
had
had to hold when he was going to lunch. He had to hold hands with his class. That was wrong.
man. I
I'm
don't look.
sorry.
I
Excuse me.
I, I got to work Monday, Keith. God damn. And I had my issues with education too. So I mean, yeah. I mean,
And you know what, man? Honestly, I was wrong. I apologize for that. But think about how our sense of humor has been shaped. How we found funny in everything, man. The humor in everything.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But nowadays,
And
I feel good.
not, but it just because I mean, just people who are comedians, people natural comedians, people who get paid for doing comedy or whatever. The few I've known, I mean, been good people, man. But life has put them in a position to where they find humor in tragedy or whatever, but they also can sometimes have a mean streak, man.
You know what? A lot of comics and comedians are tortured souls, man. They can't relate to everyone.
No doubt.
So they find humor, they find humor in their pain. No,
I give you that.
it's the truth.
I give you that. I mean, it's a never it's a never ending source. It's a never ending source, man. I mean, it, you got material. If you think you want to be a stand up comedian and you've been born in the last 20 to 25 to 30 years, you got material, Jack. Especially if you're a black man.
Yeah. What is that redheaded comedian's name? The white guy. Uh,
Career
Bill
top.
Burr.
Oh yeah.
Bill Burr. Bill Burr went through some shit in his life where he championed the weak, but his anger is so infused into his humor. You know what I'm saying? Like he is he is an angry man, but he's getting better. Yeah, I followed him throughout his career because I've always felt like he is probably one of the most sarcastic, direct, funny people that I know. You know what I'm saying? I'll watch him just for GP. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Bill Burr always struck me as an angry George Carlin.
Yeah, yeah.
That's kind of difficult
Listen, George
because
George Carlin
he was
was
a
a
grumpy old
genius.
man.
But I'm saying to you, man, his
Him and
wordplay, his spin.
the black guy, last name Black.
I know what you're talking about.
What is his name? I forgot his first name, but Black. Yeah, yeah. But see, that's my point, man. It's angry, angry. But then that shows a lot of intelligence, man. Where you can come from anger and spin a laugh up out of it. You know what I'm saying? You're highly intelligent when you do that. You know, like our father was one of the funniest human beings without wanting to be funny. He would, man, he would just say shit and he'll get mad at me because if it was funny, I'm gonna laugh. I'm sorry, man. And then he'll look at me, his eyebrows was furrowed like this. He said, "Boy, son, you a silly, silly, silly
Yeah.
man. Sit your silly ass down somewhere."
Get out of my goddamn face.
Yeah, but it's a funny thing where it's therapeutic to be able from your anger to find some humor in it. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I walked in the crib one day and he was sitting on the floor, and I said, "Hey man, why you looking like that, man?" He said, "Like what, son? Like I don't feel like being fucked with right now." And we both sat up and laughed about that, man. I was like, that's the kind of stuff you do.
I
This fa-
remember he was working third shift. This is when we moved from Detroit and we was in Rossville, right? And he was working third shift, and it was probably maybe a Saturday or Sunday. He sleep on the couch, and I hated that because he had a big ass bed upstairs, but we had to be quiet as church mouse. You remember that shit? So me and Flute, Flute is in a good mood, and he's laughing and joking and all this shit. I said, Flute, just chill out, man. I'm not trying. I don't want these problems, bro. Come on, man. Right? And we kept going back and forth. Then we'd get a little louder. I said, "Hey man, y'all chill out, right?" And then I said, "Fluke, come on, man." He said, and Fluke started laughing. And you remember this, Fluke? He said, I looked at him. I looked at him to make sure he was still asleep. He had one eye. He had one eye open. He said, "Keith, that's all right." He said, "Keith, that's all right." When Fluky wake up with my foot
My
sideways in
foot
his
up in
ass,
his
he don't know. Now it was over with. Nah, he had to go upstairs because I'm laughing my ass off. Like, damn.
I heard. I heard him tell a man that he would snatch his tongue out and wipe his feet on it. That was the funniest shit I
Yeah.
ever heard.
All right. Let me ask you a question. You brought this to me last night, Damon, by way of your sister-in-law, Alicia, and she thought it would be a good subject for us. She said, "What would be a good subject for us to chop up?" I want you guys to tell me what you think. She said, "Do black men trust black women?" And we'll start with you, Damon, and you give me your opinion. Give us your opinion.
I watched some of the video earlier today,
Okay.
and they was covering a lot of subjects, man. But just to answer that question, I think the majority of us do. You know what I'm saying? But it just shit happens in relationships, man, that turn people sour. But if you claim to love somebody, you claim to want to be with them and go through the motions of getting them cars together and apartments together and stuff. You know what I'm saying? There got to be some type of trust level there. You know, especially if you're starting from scratch and you're trying to build something together. Absolutely.
Okay. Um, Before we move on from you, Damon, what would be, I mean, as far as your experience, life experience, what would be a reason why a black man would lose trust in a woman? I'm not talking about relationship wise because that's an easy thing. I'm just talking about trust in, you know, how they think and how you move.
You know, if they betray that trust, man. If something was spoken between them and then all of a sudden everybody and their mama know about it, you know what I'm saying? That's breaking trust. You know what I'm saying? Especially if it's something that's near and dear to their heart, you know, something that you would trust in this person in and they just disregarded it like it wasn't nothing. Or they used it to throw up in your face because out of anger. You know, that
Mhm.
works both ways. But, you know, just that, you know, just situations that happen when you just say dumb shit to each other. You know what I'm saying? Some of that shit hit home, man. And you know, and sometimes you never get that back. I mean, you forgive, but you don't forget. And if it's an ongoing thing, then it's a problem.
Okay.
It's a
Okay.
problem. You know, it's meant to hurt. It's intentional.
Mm-hmm.
That would definitely do it.
Jaquari, what do you think?
Do black men trust black women? To a degree. To a degree. I mean, and that's not coming from a place where I've been burned or anything like that. I mean, I trust everybody to a degree because I've gone into relationships, personal relationships, friendships, and everything, wearing my unconditional goggles, and
Okay.
and and somehow or another, a situation is always blown up in my face, and the results of that situation have always exceeded my expectations of that person, and
Yeah.
that's not always been, it's not always been fair. It's not always been fair. I mean, I don't, and just to piggyback off what Damon said, I don't have conversations with people with the expectation that what I said won't get to another person. If I talk to you about it, then I don't necessarily care if if you say something to somebody else. The things that I keep close to my chest, is going to be between me and God. You know what I mean? And those are the things that uh, I would put judgment on people for. But I don't, like I said, I don't share those things with people necessarily. But
Okay.
trust is something that ebbs and flows. It does. So
Okay.
I,
So let's take it from away from the personal point of view of somebody betraying you and you losing trust. Is there a way, and we know men, and sometimes we're like this, when do you believe that sometimes men don't trust the judgment of women from outside or personal, the judgment, I'm talking about in their decision making or who they are and what they make a decision what they want to become. Do you see if there's circumstances that would make you feel like that when it comes to a woman's judgment?
well, I would say, it's certain things, certain aspects of manhood that obviously women don't understand. Women, for instance, women aren't taught to understand the concept of honor. They
Okay.
can read it, and have a, a logical explanation as to what honor is, but in
Okay.
regards to practicing it, uh, where are they to be held accountable? You know what I mean?
Okay.
When they say
Chivalry.
when they,
Oh,
oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, man.
no, no, I'm just saying, just another example, and it's a branch of honor, but chivalry. To, get, can you give me? Can you name me a woman who could explain chivalry, the concept of chivalry to you as a man? You think? And I'm not saying that they don't exist, but as far as practicing chivalry,
Most times, isn't it in their honor?
yeah, I
I,
mean,
yeah,
it
they
is
know how to they
it's
know
in
how to
there,
receive it,
right? But
but you're asking, do they know how to describe it?
yeah, do they understand what it takes to practice it?
Hmm.
Got you. It's a good point, man. You know, Damon, what you think? Just from the trust level, not from a personal point of view, but like, have you ever found yourself in a situation where the woman was trying to give you advice? And Ja'Cory gave several examples, chivalry, uh, certain things that men find more important when they're dealing with life. Have you ever been in that position where someone close to you or someone who wants to really truly help you, as far as a woman is concerned, try to offer you advice, but you were hesitant or you did not want to follow the advice because they didn't understand where you were coming from?
It's easy to come to the conclusion that they don't understand. It's all situational, man. If you are in a situation with your woman and she telling you to stand up for yourself, don't let this person talk to you that way. You know what I'm saying? you know, there are certain ways you might take that. Like, you know, what are you thinking? You don't think I can stand up for myself or whatever, especially the loud and boisterous and all that stuff and putting you on the spot. Of course, you're gonna take that in a negative way, you know.
Okay.
Especially if you in that mindset, you know, all you're thinking now is on the defense. It's not like she's saying, you know, check this dude. You know what I'm saying? What you supposed to do,
Now,
you know.
see, that's what I'm saying. We see that's on a personal point of view. I'm talking about a decision that needs to be made, whatever it might be. Has it ever been? Has it been ever been a moment where, as much as you want to listen to that woman's advice, you see that she is not in your. This is how you feel personally. She's not capable of really giving you advice. Maybe support, but not advice on a certain situation. Now, now, I'm not talking about personal check-in and don't let them talk to you that way. Of course, she got your back. You're supposed to be that way. You know what I mean? That's your woman. You know what I'm saying? But I'm talking about in decision making that's important to you, and you're trying to weigh what is the best thing to do. Have you ever had a moment, right, where as much as this young lady, your wife, your girlfriend, as much as she wants to offer these things to you, you realize you are on your own in the decision making.
As far as I'm concerned, to be honest with you, I value that from her because she might see it
Okay,
from an angle that I don't.
gotcha,
You see what I'm saying?
gotcha.
That's what she there for. You feel what I'm saying? Because the decisions that I make affects both of us, all of us. You know, she might say, "No, you know, we really can't handle that right now. You know, let's just put that off for a week." That's sound advice, man. You know,
Uh-huh.
it's sound advice, and I come to expect that. You know,
Gotcha.
In your decision making, man, if your success rate is 50-50, you'd be foolish not to add whatever percentage she's got to bring to the table. You know what I mean? Else she could
Yeah,
take it up to 100.
yeah.
She could have a whole better option than you. That's what
And you know,
yep.
partnerships.
and that,
That's what partnerships are
and I,
made of, man.
and I think that's why I've learned to, before I make a decision, I learned to take it in. You know what I'm saying? And understand if anybody's offering me advice to weigh that different things. Yeah, as long as you know you're not in a situation that you gotta make a decision right away. But if you're in a situation where, okay, I got time to think about this, and my woman is saying, "Yeah, look, this is what I think, and this, that, and this, and that," I'm going to take that in consideration. I mean, because I learned how to do that. You know what I mean? Because you got to think about it. No matter how strong the women were in our life as we was growing up, we were still taught to be the decision maker. And then you have to teach yourself to bring in her, your significant other's advice, so you'd be better off. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a hard thing, man, because if you see yourself as a singular person, even though you're with somebody, because a lot of us do, we see ourselves as singular. Like when I make a decision, that's the decision I'm gonna make. You gotta respect it, right? Even though the better answer might be in what this your folks is telling you. But if you was put in that position to be that person, like, let me just make a decision. Let me pull the trigger on this. Sometimes you don't pay attention that somebody might have the answer for you. You just got to open up your mind. You got to open up your heart.
All right. Uh, B side to that question, man. Have you ever heard anybody say that the more selfish a man is, the more successful he will be? Selfish in all regards, even when it comes to his family. When if a man, uh, if there's a decision to be made, a selfish man will just make a decision and deal with the consequences. And if the results are positive and he becomes more successful, then everybody around him benefits from the trickle down.
I think if somebody depending on you to make that decision, because a lot of times, and the way I see what you're saying is, you have no choice. You got to make that decision because the person that's beside you is counting on you to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So you make this decision, and you keeping yourself in the wheelhouse. You keeping yourself in their wheelhouse. See, I'll give you something personal. It's been times that I've come up with the answer, right? I've come up with the answer. I know the path to go, and it's a done deal. But I'll go to my wife. Hey, what do you think about this? Right? Because we are equal in moving in this life, right? And there's been times that she would have a whole new different angle and come up and muddy the waters on something that's simple. Or she'll hit me with this. Why the hell you asking me? Didn't you just say that you was gonna do it this way? You don't need to ask me this. You see what I'm saying? So I found myself when it comes to my personal thing and when it comes to family moving forward, sometimes my wife don't want the responsibility.
There you go. That's my wife. Sometimes she be like, "Man, what you gonna do, man? Make a decision, dude, and I'll back you up." That's what it
And
is.
see, and I'm good with that as long as you don't come through because I'm giving you the option, not because I don't know what I'm doing or I'm afraid to do it. I'm giving you the option because I don't want you to come back and nitpick like why didn't you do it this way? Because that's insulting to me. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm going to give you the option, but I already got my finger on the trigger. It's just giving you the common courtesy because we in this together. You see what I'm saying? But see, a lot of people don't want that responsibility, bro. They don't want it. And you have to recognize that because sometimes women think you are being weak if you ask about doing something. Oh, but why are you hesitating? Why, my dad would have done this. My dad would have, you feel what I'm saying? Just giving an example. I'm like, man,
Mm.
I'm just asking you because we in this together. It affects us both. But fuck it. I've said that many times. Fuck it. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? You
a lot
see,
of
pressure bust pipes sometimes, bro.
a lot
It
of that. In the old days, a lot of times, daddy made them kind of decisions, but he had a family across town, and
Look at you, man.
mama ain't have a car.
You throwing you,
It's,
you throwing
he,
wrinkles all up in that situation, bro.
honestly, for me, man, it's whether you want to call it mutual or whatever. We always did it together, man, and we came to a conclusion where it works for us, and that's where I'm at with it.
We come from us and older. We come from what you gonna do, what you gonna do to what you gonna do. You see the difference? You know what I'm saying? Now you see the difference. Like, yo, we counting on you. What you gonna do? And then the other ones, like, when they're younger, like, what you gonna do, motherfucker? You should have had this shit. We shouldn't be here. You understand what I'm saying? We shouldn't even be here. You know? You want me to say good job?
Sometimes, motherfucker. But I look, I when you get a win, I give you the attaboy. I make sure I do. That's a hell of a job.
But see, that's the whole point, though, Jaquari, is that's how you're built. I was talking to my, I got my hair cut today, and I'm talking to my barber, real good thing, good friend, Rico, Creative Cuts, man, Raleigh, North Carolina. If you're in Raleigh, check him out. But we're talking about, I said to him, and I really meant this, I don't search for thank yous, man, because if I'm looking for a thank you, I feel like I'm doubting myself. I need you to reinforce this thing. You know what I'm saying?
That's awfully noble of you, Keith.
You,
Hey,
I
think
I
something.
I
no, no.
enjoy
Why you think I'm
I
being noble when I say that?
I enjoy affirmation.
So, sometimes thank you is a good thing. You know,
No, no. See, y'all
it's
misunderstanding me.
acknowledgement, man.
I'm
No, no,
not
no.
yeah.
You heard what I said. I
I'm
said
not
I
I'm
don't
not
search for thank yous.
I'm not shitting on that.
That's all.
I'm not
I
shitting
don't
on that
search
at all.
for them, man, because it's like the fuck. Look, I might not like your tone when you say thank you. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
Like, yo,
Thank you is the culmination of the contract though, bro.
I mean, I get
if
it.
if I'm if I'm washing and polishing a car outside in this 90 damn degrees, and I wipe off the last of the wax on that car, and I hear the engine start up, can you hurry up? Cause I got to go somewhere. And pull off, and there ain't no thank you in that.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Thank you is the culmination of our departure on good terms on good terms.
You
That's
understand? I'm in the
what it is.
way from I'm in the way because I did you a favor. You better
Yeah.
say thank you.
Hey, look, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you the thing. The thing about it is two things. The first thing is, and this simplifies my life. I don't do anything for my sons and my wife or anybody that I love that I don't want to do. I find the most. I'm talking about it, the most minute reason to do it. I'll do it, right? And so, the funny thing about it is what you just said, Dana. If I had sat up there and waxed that car and did all that shit, right? My wife hopped in the car. I'll run her down. I'll run down the driveway and say, "Hold up, hold up." And I'll look at her. I'm gonna wait for her to say thank you. And if she ain't gonna say thank you, then I'm gonna spit all on that hood.
No, man.
I'm gonna be petty. Yes, indeed.
For me, I'm kind of like what you said. Key. I don't even really think about it, man. It's just you just do it
Yeah,
because you can. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? Just do it because you can, and you appreciate. You don't want your wife riding around in no dirty ass car. You know what
I
I'm
get
saying?
it, dog. I get it.
That kind of thing. So, you know, and plus my wife, she'd say thank you and then come back with a candy bar, a cold beer, something. Go kick back now, baby. You did enough for the day. I'm gonna go ahead and
No
start dinner.
doubt.
That's
No
thank you.
doubt.
That's what it is. You understand what I'm saying? So, and that's an ongoing. That's been our whole life. So, you know. But I was thinking about the original question, Keith, when you asked men trust women. Don't you think if either party bringing in baggage, man, that automatically kills the trust because you're expecting somebody to treat you the way you was treated by somebody else? You know, I'm just laying back. I really don't, I'm not gonna give my whole self to you because I've been burned and I've been hurt. So I'm not really trusting you, you know. And I think a lot of that happens.
That's true.
It's a
I
lot of
think a
that going on.
safeguard. I think a safeguard to that is just being aware. You know what I'm saying? Because okay. So if I was holding, if I had a messed up relationship prior to all the relationships that followed, right? And I, you know, I see myself getting caught up with being suspicious and all them different things like that, right? I would feel like I am doing myself a disservice in being there. Because if I'm going to sit up there and judge somebody, right? To judge somebody for what somebody else did, I need to find another way. I need to find another fishing hole because all them fishes is tainted up in that bitch. And I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to help yourself to trust. Because think about it. And this is my question to you guys and Lawrence. Saying thank you and receiving thanks is just as acknowledgement of appreciation. It's a good point, brother. But I don't believe in playing games with myself, bro. If I don't trust a female, say if I was single, if I don't trust her, I'm not talking about trust her with my bank account. I'm talking about trust like I'm always looking with one eyebrow up, being suspicious, like, oh, what's your angle? I can't take her seriously, man. But where did that come from? It comes from me. Me. I'm the reason why I can't trust because I was hurt. I was insecure. You feel what I'm saying?
And that's what I'm saying.
And I
Sometimes people
might be
come into
right.
relationships like that.
Look, listen. I might be right about her. She might be low down. You know what I'm saying? But the thing about it is, my head is not cleared enough to even give a honest estimate, an honest. You know what I'm saying? That's yeah.
I'm just saying, in a lot of relationships, people start out and they come in with this apprehension, and I think that's a downfall for a lot of relationships, man. You
I
know,
feel bad for them folks, man.
I mean,
and then the bitterness and the anger and all that. It's not
what
healthy at all, man.
what about prudence though? I mean, I think in that situation, man, in regards to relationships, man, that apprehension is it can be armor. Armor even if it's made of steel, it'll wear away over time.
I get it. I understand. I think that, and I think we all talking about it. We actually got to take a chance. If we ever been hurt, and tell me if you guys agree with this. You have to take a chance again, man. You have to take a chance. Now, I'm
Yeah,
not talking about take a chance where your woman smoked too much weed and then developed a crack habit, right? then you take a chance on another person who has a substance abuse problem. I'm not talking about that chance. I'm talking about how you release your feelings to people, how you relate, how you learn how to be around other people if you're hurt.
You know, trust, man, is it's a tricky thing, man, because grandma told me not to trust nobody.
Hmm.
Our grandmother, who's the most giving, accepting person that I think I've ever been associated with. Said, don't trust nobody. Keep your eye on everybody, because you just don't never know.
Yeah,
And I asked her, you just don't never know what, grandma. You just don't never know.
yeah. Lauren said that a lot of times we allow being hurt to mold our character, causing us to never fully trust others, which is a good point. But I think that a lot of times trust has to do with you trusting yourself to make the right decision when it comes to the new people in your life. Because that's who you really battling with. You're not battling with trusting that person across from you because you don't know them. You know what I'm saying? And you know what they can do to hurt you. But to trust yourself to release any kind of feelings towards them. You know what I mean?
Trust is practice, though, man. It's like you being form retired law enforcement and everything. Keith, if you were going out on patrol with a new pistol, would you trust it? A pistol you've never fired, would you trust it?
Now I would have to fire it one time, 1 or 2 times to trust it. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean,
Make sure that pin work. Yes, sir. The
yeah,
firing pin.
my point being, man, relationships, good relationships have to and usually do go through strain, man.
Hmm.
They do.
Hmm. That's why when I was single, man, the few times that I was single, I didn't lie. I
There's no
didn't
need,
lie.
no need to.
Like, yo, hey, sweetheart, I'm here for this. Now, if it developed to that, then I'm good. We good in the hood, but I'm here for this. You know what I'm saying? I don't like the isolation no more. Let us at least get to know each other. You know what I'm saying? You know, let me see if your burp smell like farts. You know what I mean? So, there's just up close and personal shit.
Damn.
Look, I had a
Listen,
deal
man.
breaker, bro. When I was a youngin', I had a deal breaker, right? Loved it. Look, this girl was so cute, was attractive, was athletic, and all this stuff, right? But she did one thing that really and truly, and I had to get over it. I had to mature, but she did one thing. We were sitting in my dorm room, and we're just sitting there. I was sitting in my chair. She was sitting on my bed. The next thing I know, she looks at me. She had the little smirk on her face. She raised her legs and she let out a fart. Right? Not the fact that she let out a fart, but she was sitting on my bed and did it. She was sitting in my chair. I don't think it would have impacted me as much as you sitting on my bed. I'm not trying to get no pink eye. My pillow better not be under your ass though.
Mm, mm. Girl farts are the worst, man. I mean, the absolute worst, man. And don't nobody tell you that, man, before you start messing around with them. Like they.
No, man, maybe it's just surprise, folks, because everybody's guts stink.
I know, but it's girl farts are the worst, man.
Oh, shit.
You know, talking about father. And now she come up to me and pull out a finger and say, pull my finger. And then let out a wet fart. Then I got a problem with that shit. You know what I'm saying? But people pass gas, man. That's, you know.
Yeah, that's a fact of life, bro. You know.
Now, if it's bad and I got to brace myself up against the wall, you know, I'm gonna be thinking, damn, that was terrible. But I'm just kidding, man.
See, I got to make sure I see you wash your hands before you cook for me.
She look you in the face and you doing like this. All right. I got one last thing, and this is something that you brought up, Corey. I thought was very interesting. Lawrence, and you know, let me know what you think about this also. You too, Damon. You remember sending that?
Yeah. All right. What does this mean to you? Discernment is knowing that Peter just had a bad day. Judas had a bad heart. It kind of like when I first heard it. I mean, you know, it kind of put a bow on most of my fucked up interactions with people.
Gotcha.
Because I never came to somebody with bad intentions. Never came to somebody with bad intentions. You know, I was always said I had a strong sense of justice. So if I get involved in some fuckery, you know, I like to believe it's just for that moment. I don't carry it in my heart. This is not who I am as a person. There are conditions that have been laid that, in my mind, have forced me to go there. That's that quote, you know, represented for me.
So what you think, Danny?
I think shit.
Anybody in the chat, if you have a comment on the question on the scene, please share with us.
If
All right,
if you
let
just
me go, Damon, to give you time to you want time to think about it, man, Nate.
go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
All right, well what I responded back with to Jaquari was this: depending on the person's heart, right? Now it's telling you that Peter had a bad day. So Peter denied Jesus when Jesus was going through the worst day of his life on earth, right? Voluntarily. So fear, so it's the bad day for Peter. Fear overcame him because he didn't have his security blanket. Jesus was his security blanket, right? Not his faith in what Jesus was saying, but it was his. So Peter felt human. He felt human. So what did he do? He panicked. How many times did he deny him? Was it twice, Jaquari? Something like that?
I'm not quite sure.
But my point is, I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
Well, you did. You damn sure.
But my point is,
Good job there, Shawty.
no, but my point that's my point though, is that bad day came out. Panic. Because Jesus was all their security blanket. And when it came to Judas, now if you're into the parable of the whole situation, when it came to Judas, Judas was with those Romans and the Pharisees. He was safe. He was not in any danger. His nature, feeling as though him trying to control the situation.
He had an agenda.
Yeah, but see, the thing about it, his agenda was this. I'm telling, I'm telling Jesus, I'm telling the Lord, look, we need to move different. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna take this because this is for his own good. So that was that. really told you what his heart was about because he never really listened. And look, I'm speculating what this whole deal, but my point is his heart. He never really listened to what Jesus was saying because what he was a tax collector anyway, right? So he went back to his comfort zone.
Who, Judas?
Yeah,
No, he wasn't a tax collector. That was Mark.
I
Was
thought
it
he was
Mark?
a tax collector too. Well, I don't know. Hey, folks, just let me know in the comments. Damon might be right, but my point is, when you sent that to me, Jacquard, that's what it took me a minute because it wasn't instantaneous. I was like, damn, that's deep as hell. And I kind of broke it down in my head, like, yo, there is a difference between the two men. You know what I'm saying? That's laid out in the Bible. They show a difference between the two men. You know, but that's what I have,
Anyway,
Damon. So what do you think?
like I'm see when you came with that, I'm kind of struggling with it because I'm going through a thing right now. You know what I'm saying, where I'm supposed to listen. You know, remember I told you that a couple of people asked me, man, you gave your life to Christ and all that, man. What do you have to say? I've been told not to say anything. Not at this moment in time. So I was kind of struggling with that. I'm trying to make it like as far as having a bad day, you're absolutely right, because you had an agenda, as far as I can see, where the other one was just going off raw emotions,
Gotcha.
and responded. And he didn't want to cut the guy's ear off.
Hmm.
Jesus reattached it,
Yeah,
so he is a hothead, man. He just, you know,
it's a good point. You said raw emotion. You know what I mean? And like I said, I didn't think it was a right or wrong to this. Lawrence says Matthew was the tax collector.
yeah, Matthew.
Judas was just greedy. You know what I'm saying?
He was a rebel, man. He wanted to start. He wanted him to start, come in like the Sorry about that. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, but see, Lawrence he said discernment is knowing that Judas was a tool being used for our salvation. Discernment is also knowing that as Peter was denying Christ 3 times, Christ still forgave him. I like the fact that you sent that to me, Jaquar, because it's more or less gives us give us a view of where we are as far as where our thinking is. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, to me, I don't think there's no right or wrong answer to it. It's just a simple fact that your understanding of it. You know. All right. Last question of the day, man. Is there anything that you can think of that made you laugh that you thoroughly enjoy?
Look, the first time I seen Friday, I was with
Uh-huh.
Paul and Damon, and we was so high. It was the funniest shit I ever seen in my life, man. The funniest thing.
Hmm.
Or
I
I don't
think.
know. Oh my bad.
No, no. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Or I mean, and it's morbid. It's morbid, but it was a clip that I seen when I first started like using the internet. It was a psychiatrist, right? and his patient was disgruntled, and so he had tracked the doctor down, and he was going to shoot him, and you know, he had like a 38 or something, and the doctor, you know, first he had up his briefcase, right, dodging the bullets or whatever, and then he ran around a tree.
I saw that, man. That was crazy.
And he was ducking and dodging the dude. The dude was trying to shoot him, and dude just gave up because the doctor was just too savvy with the moves. I think he still got popped or whatever, but
I think he got shot twice, like, you know, shoulder, arm. But he emptied the magazine trying to shoot that guy, man.
Yeah, he could not pop him. I was like, wow,
he got shot in his neck and his shoulder.
Or it was this one. It was this one clip. It's an old clip. It was this black couple, right? It was a heavyset lady and a like a skinny black dude, right? And he was drunk. And I don't know what he had done, but she was whooping his ass, right? They was out in front of their house or whatever. And she told him, "Leave me alone, leave me alone." So he grabbed her and they started tussling again, right? And somehow or another he got on the ground and she grabbed the shoulders of his jacket and started dragging him on the sidewalk. Man, that shit was hilarious. It was hilarious. And domestic violence is not funny.
No, it's not funny. It's not funny. I saw one. It was this Spanish lady. I think they're from New York. They just gave me that New York vibe, right? The dude was in the house drunk. You know what I'm saying? Medium-sized guy. He talking smack to her and all this, right? And you could tell he might have done it before, but he hauled off and smacked her. But he grazed her, right? Then she instantaneously hit him back. Pow! Smacked him across the jaw and he hit the ground. Boom! Right? He got his drunk ass up and said, "That was a good one." She smacked that man sober. Look, she smacked him so hard he had to compliment her. That was crazy.
That's happened to me before, man. That's happened to me before. It was yeah, man. It was right before. Look, it was my senior year, man. It was football season. We was playing Pioneer for the freaking regionals. I mean, we was kicking ass all year. And right before the game, you know, like, you know, the players is in the locker room getting hyped up and everything, man. My little road dog, man, at the time, you know, his name's Kip Johnson, man. Shout out to you, brother. He, you know, hit me on the shoulder pad. You know, you ready? You hyped up? Yeah. You know, and I'm steaming. I'm seeing red. And then he hauled off and slapped the shit out of me. Pow! and I was deflated. I was like, I didn't want to play no more. I was like, fuck, man. Why did you do that, bro? Like, I ain't show it or whatever, but I'm like, damn, it's like you could have fried a piece of bacon on my face, man. He slapped the shit out of me.
See that man always wanted to do that to you, man. That was your boy too. He always wanted to slap.
That was my man. No, he wasn't that. He ain't that kind of dude. He's still a good dude. I ain't talked to him in probably since I graduated. He ain't mean no ill intent. So he slapped the shit out of me though.
Look, I got another one, right? You know, I go through social media stuff, right? And on TikTok, I'm on this. I'm a follower of this thread, right? You know, they like baby reactions, right? And you know them toys that react to sounds and stuff like that. They mimic the sound and all this, right? So there's this little white baby, man. I just said white because it was it's his little baby. His mom sat him down in the middle of the floor. Now you can tell this baby is just happy. He don't give a shit about nothing as long as he feed me. You change my diaper, I'm good. So he's looking at his mama and shit. So it was a cactus. One of them cactus, right? on the caption it said it sounded like a real He said that was like a terrorizing scream, right? So the baby looking at the cactus, and he made it like and the cactus like That baby like wah. He screamed like a grown ass man. Look, I don't know why it was so funny, but this baby was so terrified. He sounded like a grown man when he screamed. You know what I mean?
I
Yeah.
think for me is them TikTok videos with man when them cats be fighting. And fighting them dogs, and they be throwing that paw and be smacking the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
Oh man, you talking about skilled fighters, man? That'd be hilarious, bro.
Yeah, man. I don't know, man. I'm tell you, I got all sorts of humor, but for me, my biggest laughs come from because I can laugh at everything. I love intellectual humor. I love all the slapstick and all that. But slapstick, I get the biggest laughs off of that for some reason. You know what? Growing off of Three Stooges,
Mm.
I think that's what it was. Three Stooges and Tom and Jerry. That's what it
Mm-hmm.
was, man.
Yeah.
And Bugs Bunny ass. Yeah, hell yeah. The early Bugs Bunny, Lord have mercy.
No, Tex Avery.
Like
They be smacking each other on the head with a bull with a nail in it.
Hell yeah. But
Was that one when that bear and that little bear, he kept telling him to be quiet.
Quiet, shut up,
What?
quiet, shut up, quiet.
What I say, quiet?
I mean, quiet.
I'm gonna go watch that shit later on, man.
I am too, man. I ain't gonna lie, man.
I do that.
I am too.
Tex Avery, man, Tom and Jerry, with Uncle Pecos and shit, and the Irish Lion and shit. I'm gonna go watch that shit later.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's for that one when he found him in the cave. Oh, in the cave on the moon.
On the move, and he finally came out. He said, "I'm coming. Tis hoping you choke on me. I am." You know what, man? Like Bugs Bunny, man. They used to they was racist against Irish people, man.
Yeah,
They was racist against
everybody,
Irish people.
man.
Yeah, but I'm saying, man,
Everybody.
like when they was the police, that was some racist shit. I say, man, you might, Rabbit, you might.
Oh shit. I tell you, I saw some shit.
With the dog when Tom was in the bed with his leg propped up. He had his leg propped up, and the dog was across the room, and he kept trying to fall asleep. And all he hears the bed jumping towards him. He is trying to stay awake. Oh man!
I miss that kind of comedy in cartoons, man. That's the truth.
Man.
But those cartoons, man, is the reason why when we was younger, man, punching a motherfucker in the face was a viable solution. That shit was violent, man. And, you know, like fuck, man. Like, yeah, I'll punch you in the face, man. And it might be funny to some people, and to some people it was.
Hmm.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah. Anything else, brother? Anything else y'all want to address before we sign up off here?
You know, just really quick, man. You know, last week's show, Keith, I believe we talked about we touched on the whole FBA phenomenon and everything that's going on with that. I was going through my reels and everything, and I said I forget this guy's name. It was a black guy, and he was talking about how their rhetoric is starting to become like really ultra conservative and MAGA-ish as far as nationalism goes.
I think it's a reflex reaction, bro. To be honest with you, because the black community we are conservative as hell, even though we have different branches of our personalities and we're flexible in how we think, right? Our base is conservative, right? Like with my man, what's his name?
Tariq
That
Nasheed?
be Yeah. See, if you think about it, he adopted that. He adopted that, right? In the knee jerk where he was defending American born blacks against, he felt, folks coming in and cooning like, you Americans are lazy. You're this, you're this, you're that. You know what I mean? So knee jerk, he going back at them, which I don't mind because if you're attacking somebody, you shouldn't feel bad because they want to respond to you. You feel what I'm saying? Because a lot of times, man, I've ran into folks from the African continent, whatever country they came from, right, who were good people, right? They showed me nothing but goodness. Let me put it like that, right? I'm talking about that I could relate to them as just being human beings. Then I ran into the ones who want to be snide. You know what I'm saying? That's working 4 jobs, barely keeping their eyes open. Now this is personal experiences, folks. This is nothing like I'm just throwing some stereotype. I'm talking to these guys. They killing themselves, right? So with all that anger they have because they're working themselves to the bone, even though they have a goal, they're working themselves to the bone. They want to get into a intellectual conversation to me about why black folks in this country don't take advantage of their opportunity. And then I look at them and say, what opportunity are you talking about? Right? Because I said the majority of people I know go to work. The vast majority, at least 97% of the people I know go to work. So who are you talking about not taking advantage of this? I'm talking about I've had that kind of conversation many times. And I didn't take it personal from them people, but I was allergic to your ignorance. You had me breaking out in hives just saying some dumb shit that a white man will say to me. You know what I'm saying? Because you working. See, this is my conclusion. You're working so hard not to identify with something because you want to stay where I live. So what do? And this is small percentage of folks though. You get what I'm saying? What do? You shit on the idea that was put into your brain. You dig what I'm saying? And is that human nature? I don't know. See, I welcome that kind of stuff, man. I welcome those kind of opportunities because I think about it. Yeah, if I take it personal, I'm gonna take it personal. But guess what? My argument won't be personal. My argument will win because I'm just gonna ask basic questions like, who do you know that don't take care of that? Don't take advantage of their opportunity. Whether or not it is right now the current folks, the island folks, and the continent folks, or white people. I've had white people. That's what I get angry about. I've had white people when they got comfortable with me come to me in that angle, and I cut them to bits. Not in an angry way, like, yo, do you know that you sound stupid? Let's examine this. Now they're sitting there red faced. I done seen many red faces. Like, man, I like you, Keith. Why? Because I'm smarter than me, you stupid motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it
Man,
is what it is.
people like that. I'm like, so you done came in and drunk the damn Kool-Aid, huh?
And
You
you know
done
what?
drunk the damn
You know,
Kool-Aid.
Fluke, that's out of fear. That's what it
Say,
is.
when you get you'll come up, you get jammed up. Don't come in and talk about, oh, can you support me on this and support me on that? No, you chose to be out there. Go right ahead. You drunk the
This is
Kool-Aid and you
your
think
play.
you know. You don't know what the hell you talking about.
This is the game you decided you wanted to play.
Yep. Good luck.
Yeah. All right. Well, look, I think that it wasn't today's show wasn't the wang bang, but it was a lot. It was informative. It was passionate, and I really enjoyed myself, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Great job,
Love
Lawrence.
and
Thank you,
appreciate you,
brother.
bro.
Definitely appreciate you, sister-in-law. Thank you, Eric. Get off punishment so you can come back on the podcast. You know what I'm saying? But appreciate y'all, man.
Good job, bro.
Um, last words, Damon. Last word for today.
Y'all continue to be blessed, man. And I love you guys, man. Miss your presence. We got to rectify that.
Yes, sir. Jaquari, last word.
Fellas, I thoroughly enjoyed tonight's conversation, and I look forward to the next. Y'all be safe.
Last words for me is go like, share, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Strong Perspective Podcast. Check out our content. You know, check out what we do, how we enjoy just doing what we do. You know what I'm saying? And we'll see y'all next week.
Peace.
Strong Perspective Podcast. Peace.